Jeremy here with Concrete Internet Marketing, and today we're going to take a look at how to install rich snippets on your website. So before we get started, first I'm going to show you a few examples of what rich snippets look like and how they appear on Google searches. So rich snippets are simply coding that you install on your web page, and it alters the way your listings show up on Google and other search engines. So the first rich snippet that we're going to take a look at is an article rating. So we could see right here on this Google listing, you could see that there's a 4.3 star rating with 123 votes right under the URL. So that is a rich snippet. Now, if we click on the link here, what we're going to see is in correlation with what you saw online, you're also going to see that we have down here on the page a 4.3 rating with about 123 votes, and that is exactly what's showing up on Google. The other one, or another one that we could take a look at is events. So we did a search here for events in New York for September of 2017. So here we can see a list of events: the West Indian Day Parade, Labor Day, New York City, Oktoberfest. And again, if we head on over to the website, we're going to see that displayed in order on the website. So a little slow loading, but we can see right here, here's the West Indian Day Parade, Labor Day in New York City, Oktoberfest, so on and so forth. So basically what they did is they put together some code that is recognized by search engines, not and is also displayed in one way or another on the website. It's not displayed exactly as you see it here in the search results, but it is displayed on each and every website. So that's important to note, that these rich snippets, they need to have all the content on the website so people can see that as well. So now that we know what rich snippets look like on a search result, let's see how we go ahead and implement them. So there's a couple of different ways. The first thing that you can do is you can head over to Google's structured data markup helper, and go ahead and click on whatever type of structured data markup that you want to do. So for our example, we're going to be running this web page of ours here about rich snippets. So all we do is we click on articles, we insert the URL, and we start tagging. Just taking a minute to load. So if you want to go this route, it's actually fairly easy and straightforward on what you need to do. So to the right here are kind of all the items that you need in your rich snippets. You don't really need the average rating if you don't have any yet, and since this is a new blog post, there aren't going to be any ratings. So what you do is you simply just go ahead and highlight, and then since that's the name of the blog post, we throw that in the name, and then so on and so forth. So you just simply highlight, figure out what it relates to, and go ahead and click on the button. Now, for example, we can't get the URL here, so what we'll do is we'll come over to here and copy the URL. So anything that you can't get that you want to add, you can go to add missing tags. So over here, we can go ahead and throw in the URL, paste it in there, so on and so forth. So you just go through your whole article, highlight, and then insert it. Pretty easy. And then you go over to the create HTML. And what we like using is the JSON LD. It just is a lot easier for us to go through and make any edits that need to be. Now, a lot of times with this Google structured data marker, you're going to come up with a few errors. So what we actually like to do is we go over to this template from jsonld.com for the article. There's other templates: event, concert, blog post, so on and so forth. You can go ahead and copy this um, th this code, and you can head over to the structured data testing tool, and you can run a new test and simply input your code. So instead of boring you with everything on this article and putting the code together, we went ahead and put it together over here on our notepad so that we can easily come back and paste it into the structured data testing tool. So now we're going to go ahead and run the test to see if there are any errors that come back. In this case, we have 0 errors and 0 warnings, so everything appears to be correct. The next step that we need to do then is just go ahead again and copy all of this code and then paste it into our post. So here's our post, the Google Ranking Blues use rich snippets to boost rankings. Um, what you need to do on a WordPress, since you can't really go in and edit the header of each and every page, you need to go out and get yourself a widget. The widget that we use is Add to Head, and we'll put a link to that widget so you can go ahead and download it for your WordPress website as well. So we already have the code in here. You simply just copy and paste, hit the update button, and since we've already updated it to make sure that it's all working correctly, we don't need to update right now. And then the next step, what you need to do is just go ahead and copy the web page as well. And go back to the data tester, run a new test, and this time instead, let's go ahead and just run it on the URL to make sure that everything looks correct. And everything came back perfect on the article. So when it comes to putting rich snippets into your website, there are some headaches that are going to come along with it, just to give you a heads up. If you're not familiar with coding and what have you, it can be very, very frustrating. But it's definitely worth the steps. It's going to give you a boost in your SEO rankings. So we kind of recommend this to all of our clients. Some love it, some hate it. But go ahead and use it if you can. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and shoot us over an email. But otherwise, be sure to also go and check out our other blog posts that goes through not only the structured data marker here also goes through some other SEO tips that you can use to get your website and web pages to rank on the top of Google.